Yes, we're back. It's 2023, and 2023 is allegedly meant to be a massive year for Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. We're going to be looking at some massive games coming to Xbox Game Pass in the first half of the year, hopefully. Plus the latest update on that Activision Blizzard deal. It rolls on. There's some surprise announcement of a rumoured event coming up, plus other surprise announcements from Xbox and some stuff from CES related to Xbox. All this, much more, is what we're going to be discussing tonight. So, let's roll the title. Yes, yokoso. This is the first Xbox Monday Night Chat of 2023. As I said, 2023 is gearing up to be a big year for Xbox. I think we can safely say, or certainly in some circles, it was considered a bit of a damp squib 2022. And part of that is that with some, big first party and third party games that we're expecting for Xbox Game Pass were sort of kicked into 2023. Hopefully for good reasons. So if they deliver on that, 2023 should be a very exciting year. If the damn Activision Blizzard deal gets through all the hoops and hurdles, it should be a very, very good year. Plus we've just had CES, as I said. And there's some things from there related to Xbox. And we're going to be discussing all of that. So first of all, don't forget to hit the likes. I like it. YouTube likes it. Yeah. And it helps people like you find wonderful content like this. And we've had a whole shed load of new Xbox fans subscribe to the channel. If you're one of those watching either live or after the event, welcome. It's much appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed yet, oh my goodness, hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell. That way you'll know when I go live with shows just like this and Xbox related content, the works. And make sure you join in the chat. We'll be coming to the chat and checking out all of that as well. So yeah, as ever, let me know what games you've been playing. Doesn't have to be Xbox related. I've been playing I've been into a game that's been on Xbox for a little while, and I completely forgot. It was one of the great things about Xbox Game Pass is I was a bit bored. So I had a stroll through the games on Xbox Game Pass, and I saw a game that I liked the previous version of this game. So I thought, yeah, I'll dive into that. And the whole weekend I've just been playing it. Hell of a lot of fun. I'll come to that a bit later. But let me know in the chat what games you've been playing. Anything that you've kind of heard about Xbox you want to talk about, put it in the chat. That's what we're here for. It's the Xbox Monday Night Chat. Yeah. And we've got, I've got lots of things to share with you. So why don't we crack on and see who was banging at the front door, who's in the front row, the mosh pit of the concert that is Xbox Monday Night Chat, ready to catch me when I stage dive. Yeah, it's the early birds. Let's see who they are. Sednar's in the house. He was nice and early. Hello, Sednar. Jay Smith. Hello to you, sir. Now, Sednar's been playing Trine series with my wife. Yeah, I forgot. Trine is such a good game to play with other people, isn't it? It's a great example of that game mechanic where you really need someone else to help out. Lego Star Wars, I love that kind of cooperative thing, or It Takes Two, that sort of stuff. Also Elden Ring. I've never really got into Elden Ring. Maybe I will. Hey, Geek the Sneak, how are you? Good to see you there. And Mostly Martinez. Hello, Clive. Hello, chat. Good to see the early birds in the chat. Now, just before I went live, Happy New Year, Geek the Sneak, in there with the $2. Thank you very much, Geek the Sneak. It's very much appreciated. All hail Geek the Sneak and his 2023 New Year generosity. So that New Year's resolution is to share the wealth. Yeah, the world would be a lot better place if we shared the wealth. Indeed. Right. So just before I went live, just before I went live, I was having a meeting, a presentation for the show on Thursday. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, it's not about that. It's about Xbox. Just before I went live, hot off the press, Tom Warren of The Verge. Now, there's been an Xbox. Let's keep the sneak acknowledgement there. Thank you very much. Ray's in the house, I noticed. Whoop, whoop. The Shizzle says, I heard High on Life is doing really good on Xbox. Yeah, it is. It's blinding. It's a great game. It's a great game. It's just, it's funny. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Silly, but well made. Yeah. So I'm not surprised. Hey, Happy New Year, Geek the Sneak. Indeed. Thank you. Right. Yes. So just before I went live, hot off the press, Tom Warren. So there's been rumoured, and I think we talked about it. I think I talked about it last year, end of last year. There's been rumours that there was going to be an Xbox event. Well, it seems now we have substance to that rumour, ladies and gentlemen. Xbox event. This was posted this evening. Xbox event expected on January the 25th. Microsoft is rumoured to be holding a special Xbox event later this month. Windows Central reports a developer direct game show will be held on January the 25th with Arcane. So they're making Redfall, and we'll come to that because there's been some interesting interviews with the creatives behind Arcane, Bethesda, and more. Games like Redfall, Forza Motorsport, and Minecraft Legends, we're going to be looking at all these games coming up, are all expected to appear, but Starfield might be skipping the show entirely. Microsoft is expected to announce this event in the coming days. So, ladies and gentlemen, watch this space. Here is the... it was Windows Central who claimed this. This will be an intimate look at the major games of 2023 as Microsoft seeks to ramp up transparency and frequency on upcoming Xbox games, which, yeah, I think we can all agree is much needed. There was a lot of sort of disappointment from many circles, the lack of Xbox announcements at the Games Award just before Christmas. So I think Xbox felt that, some of the backlash from that. So it seems, certainly that's what Windows Central is suggesting here, that what we're going to get at the end of January here is more transparency and announcements and behind the scenes look at some of the games. Yeah, so this was discussed and rumoured back in December, according to that. So anyway, so there you go. Make a date. We're expecting the show to go live January the 25th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, although that may be subject to change. So 2 weeks. Yeah, just over 2 weeks, we should have a big update. I think they're just going to go, look, here's the first 6 months of the year. This is how it's panning out. So that should be very interesting. Let me know what you think. Do we need more transparency, more of a roadmap? Remember that from the Stadia days? We need a roadmap, more of a roadmap from Xbox. Let me know. Anyway, that was hot off the press, ladies and gentlemen. Slightly warmer. I still haven't played High on Life. I'll put it on the list. Definitely have it. Give it a go, Geek the Sneak. Definitely give it a go. Slightly warmer. So obviously we've had CES and various brands have been revealing their goodies and stuff, and there's a couple that are Xbox related I want to bring your attention to. One of them is a controller, an Elite controller, but this one's quite interesting because it comes with a little screen. I'll show you what I mean. This is from Asus, and it's a new Xbox controller, and it has a tiny, can you see there, a tiny customizable OLED screen. It doesn't do anything other than it's a screen. It's not like a touch sensitive screen or anything like that. This is the ROG Raikiri Pro. Hi, Raikiri Pro. And it also supports Bluetooth, RF, and USB-C. And there's some more news here. So this is Asus fondness for sticking small screens on devices now extends to gamepads as part of its many gaming hardware introductions at CES. It unveiled the ROG Raikiri Pro controller with built-in customizable OLED screen. The 1.3 inch is 1.3 inch screen on the Xbox and Windows Ready peripheral can show useful information like charging status, microphone mute, and active profile. But you can also use it, and this is an interesting thing, for cosmetic animations, images, and text. No one will forget that it's your controller then. So you can actually add, you can customize what appears on the screen by the looks of things. Plus, this is the first licensed Xbox controller, so it's officially licensed Xbox controller, to offer tri-mode connections. You can use Bluetooth, RF, or USB-C. I think I've got a headset that has three things. Not here, my son's got them. I've got two headsets here, three headsets here. But yeah, so you can use Bluetooth, RF, or USB-C. You only get to use the wireless this is the weird bit here. You only get to use the wireless functionality with a PC. Asus only promises Xbox support through USB. That's a bit weird, but still handy for the if you'd like the flexibility of how you connect to your gaming machines. Even the audio as well is excessive because it includes an ESS DAC to boost audio from the 3.5mm headset jack. And on the back, you can see here, it's got additional controllers. I'm just looking at mine. Have I got... No, this on this controller, I can adjust the trigger response on that one. But I have other ones where you've got like the Elite, got extra pads at the back. What I find, I tend to switch those off because what I find is I'm always accidentally touching them. They're not always in the best place. But interesting here, it's got these 4 pads on the back here. So beyond the familiar Xbox layout, you can program 4 rear buttons for hotkeys, sensitivity toggles, and similar commands. Top buttons let you switch profiles mid-play, and trigger locks can limit the amount of travel, which is what I've got here on this one. I've got like some trigger locks on there. No pricing as of yet, but there we go. Quite a nice looking controller, like, you know, for a general controller. I mean, yeah. This is my Fusion Power A that I use when I'm gaming on the PC. So it's Xbox licensed, but it's not an Xbox controller per se. It's not like an official Xbox. It's a licensed controller from Fusion. But anyway, there you go. So that was some Asus and their new Xbox controller with customizable OLED screen. The other thing, so we knew this was coming. Razer launches its first dedicated 5G handheld console. So this was announced last year, but now they're releasing it in January. As of January the 26th, with a few options available to potential buyers. So you've got the 5G model, which retails at $599. This is the one that looks like you can detach, I think. So you've just got the screen. So if you've got games that have touch control, I think you can take the things off the side, the controller pads, the joy pads, as it were, off the side, and use touch control. I know this because in the meeting that I had in relation to GeForce Now, they were talking about this this particular device, and that you could do that. I think it was this one. The Razer Edge Android-based system will hit the US. This is in the US. Going to launch in the US on the 26th. As I said, $599 for the 5G version. The Wi-Fi only one at $399. Really, an extra $200 for the... That might sound a lot for something that's focused on cloud gaming, but it's got some impressive specs, ladies and gentlemen. 6.8-inch, 144 hertz AMOLED display. If only a game service that could, stream games at 120 hertz, 240 hertz. The upcoming handheld is rocking a 2400 by 1800 screen. So pretty much anything you throw at this could look very crisp indeed. It's got the latest Snapdragon G3X Gen 1 gaming platform, which is very battery efficient, apparently. Long gaming sessions playing AAA games. And, of course, they're partnering with Xbox. I think they're also partnering with GeForce Now. But they're partnering with Xbox specifically on this device. But there you go. So the Razer launches its first dedicated 5G console on the 26th in the US on the 26th of January, ladies and gentlemen. So there we are. That was out of CES. But as I mentioned, let's wind up for this one. As I mentioned, it's a big year for Xbox with some big titles. Put the Activision Blizzard deal to one side. So I thought we'd have a little look at some of these big titles. I will be doing a dedicated video for this. I didn't have time to do it, but I will be doing a dedicated video for this. But here's a little glimpse. Let me know in the chat which of these games you most looking forward to or not. I did a video on the games coming to Xbox Game Pass in January. There's a few typical comments on there going, rubbish. Not about the video, but the games. A bit harsh. But anyway, let me know, and I always say to people, it's subjective, isn't it? In particular, I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter Rise coming, which is in this list, about to go through, coming January 25th, 26th. So the big title, bear in mind, these are coming to Game Pass. Yeah. New games coming to Xbox Game Pass. So if you've got Game Pass, these are games that you're going to be able to play from day one. So obviously Starfield is the big title of the year, I think. By the fact that it doesn't seem that they're going to be talking about this at the upcoming event at the end of this month. It's further in the year, I think. Now, Redfall, which we'll come to, is looking particularly interesting from Arcane. They did an interview about this game, and it's quite interesting about the sort of how the game will pan out in its style and stuff. And they even compared it a bit to Far Cry games, which we will go through. We'll have a look at that interview where they talk about it in slightly more detail. Then you've got Forza Motorsport for all you driving fans out of there. Minecraft Legends. Upcoming action strategy video game developed by Mojang Studios Blackbird Interactive. Discover the mysteries of this action strategy game to defend the overworld from the piglin invasion. The Minecraft legends take place in the Minecraft universe during an invasion by the piglins from the Nether. As the Nether spreads its corruption across the overworld, a great hero raises their banner to save the overworld and bring together its mobs to help defend their home. Let's a quick watch of the trailer. To get a sense of what it's about. Because I couldn't quite work out what the game is about just from the title, obviously. So it's just basically, look at that RTX lighting. So it's just like an adventure strategy game set in the wonderful Minecraft world. I got that up to put it up. There we are. That's better. Look at that. So I'm not sure necessarily it's one for Minecraft fans per se, because it's not about building and constructing. It's sort of more, defeat the piglins type game. Now the villagers are running away. Anyway, there you go. So, interesting. I'll definitely be checking it out when it releases. So then we've got Party Animals. Now, Party Animals looks, if you've played Humans Fall Flat and Fall Guys, it looks like a cross between those two things. What was it called again? Party Animals. Looking at it, and it's got that kind of, ridiculous physics-based style. Real-time physics, as they call it. It never feels like real ragdoll physics, more ragdoll physics. So I can see this being super frustrating in the way that Human Falls Flat can be. I like to go through Humans Fall Flat as vanilla as I can, as straightforward as I can. Whenever I used to play with my son, he loves like causing mayhem, knocking me off, pulling me down from, ledges and stuff like that. But this has got that kind of Fall Guys, Human Fall Flat style to it. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I get it. But it looks like a sort of a block party style fun game. And interestingly enough, I did read somewhere that graphically, I think they're going to have like RTX and a high frame rate. And somebody was saying there's people who, this sort of game doesn't need that. If you can put it in there, why not? So as I understand it, it should sort of play quite well and look pretty impressive. But yeah, look, that is so Human Fall Flat, which I find so frustrating when I'm playing with other people. But I guess that's the point. Look at that, they're running up the ice. Classic. Anyway, so there we go. Yeah. So again, look, not everybody's cup of tea. I get it. But I think a lot of fun could be had with that. Then you've got Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Probably slightly more my thing, I guess. Brian De Silva says, yeah, like Gang Beasts, reskin Gang Beasts, yeah. Slightly optimized graphics, I would say. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Then Monster Hunter Rise, which I featured in my games coming to Xbox Game Pass in 2023. Atomic Heart, which I'm particularly looking forward to. Hollow Knight Silk Song. Obviously, Hollow Knight. Loads of people love that game. Enough said. This was very anticipated last year when it was shown at E3. If I can just write that. The Xbox presentation last year. Oh, there we are. No, here we go. This has got that real steampunk aesthetic to it. And it looks really interesting. I mean, it looks impressive. Question is, you know, how will it play and that kind of stuff. But I love the aesthetic, that whole kind of steampunk aesthetic going on. It's got that kind of real Japanese style, like like Resident Evil Village. Look, you know, graphically, it's kind of up there. It's kind of a weird twist on the story of Pinocchio. But yeah, let me know if this... it's interesting with games where they just show the settings like that. Obviously, it's a bit early to be showing anything else. But some interesting puzzle mechanics, and with obviously his hands and various attachments, a bit like Edward Scissorhands type thing. But yeah, it's got very Japanese style in terms of the game design, but with a real strong steampunk aesthetic going on there. So yeah, definitely Lies of P is one to watch. Ark 2. I never really got into Ark. But you can ride dinosaurs and shoot guns in this one, and this guy looks like Vin Diesel. He, you know, I don't know why they've modelled him. Maybe somebody who knows a bit more about Ark 2 can say why Vin Diesel features in Ark 2. Now this one, Wulong Fallen Dynasty. Wolong, sorry, not Wu, Wolong. Looks really cool. Again, here's some... get the children out of the room. Again, definitely. I mean, remember these games are coming to Games Pass. If you subscribe to Games Pass, these are the sort of level of games that you're going to be playing. There's sort of a bit of a, I want to say Sekiro, which means that I'll be hopeless at it if it's all about the timing. But yeah, definitely, I'm loving the whole Chinese aesthetic going on there. I just wondered to what degree it's like a kind of timing game. Wolong Fallen Dynasty coming to Xbox Game Pass early 2023. Early 2023. Could we see it in February? Define early. Oh, look. It's Chariot Man Game. Look, hello, Chariot Man Game. And he's playing. He's playing High on Life. That was obviously the next video along. Right. Monster Hunter Rise, as I said, is coming at the January the 26th. So could it be each month we get one big game, like one massive game for Games Pass, and that this month it's Monster Hunter Rise, and in February we get Wolong, because Atomic Heart is meant to be, I think, in March. Again, Atomic Heart's got a real interesting aesthetic. It's like a sort of a past future reimagined. That makes sense. Lies of P. Oh, we've done that one yet. And now, okay. The Last Case of Benedict Fox. I'm not familiar. And Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. Now, I'd not heard of Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. Now, the others I had, but... Okay, let's have a little browse of this one. Gameplay reveal. This is at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. That's okay. So sort of, is it like a Napoleonic War? Okay. A few... Okay, no. It's sort of... So again, it's sort of got this weird mashup of historical styles in this kind of weird fantasy world. I just went by the uniforms, but now we've gone all kind of medieval and zombie. Okay, so she's got some weird powers going on. Again, aesthetically, looks... I don't know. Colour-wise, it looks a bit drained out. Okay, that's weird. She's got like a weird fox. Okay, well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. So, of those games, ladies and gentlemen, let's come back there. Let's go back here. Let me just whiz through these. So these, remember, as I said before, these are games coming specifically Xbox Games Pass. The big one, Starfield, I think later in the year. Redfall, which we'll come to. Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, Party Animals, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, Monster Hunter Rise, Atomic Heart, Hollow Knight, Silksong, The Lies of P, Ark 2, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. Which of those? So I think most of those are going to be the first part of this year. Maybe Starfield, I'm not sure. But most of these, I think, will be the first half of this year. But let me know which ones that of those are you looking forward to. Or if you're just thinking, meh. Because people do. People think, meh, which is fair enough. But I think there's some good things in there. Right. Now, I said let's talk about Redfall. There's an interesting interview here. Redfall isn't Arcane's Left 4 Dead. So a lot of people are saying, oh, Redfall looks like Left 4 Dead. But according to this interview, it is Arcane's spin on Far Cry. So in this interview, they spoke with the Arcane Studios' Harvey Smith and Ricardo Bear to dive deep into Redfall, one of the most anticipated Xbox Series X exclusives of the year. And what they were saying here, if I go through it, so what they've tried to do is, they have, the studio has a history of, it says here, has become synonymous with deep world creation, smart environmental storytelling, and for the intentional emergence that erupts as simple rule sets clash against complex combat and movement systems. As the studio weaves so deftly between the genres and style, like Dishonored, Prey to Deathloop, good game Deathloop, these threads of commonality bind the best Arcane games. And what they're saying is they've woven a lot of these things through it. And basically the outcome here, they're saying the Redfall isn't the video game that you think it is. It is not Left 4 Dead. Following its reveal, the Xbox Series X exclusive has drawn comparisons to Left 4 Dead of this world. Great games, concedes Arcane creative director, but not exactly what the studio is shooting for. There are 4 playable characters you can play together cooperatively, and you are going against the undead. But in terms of the way that you play and experience Redfall, it's not like those games at all. So despite as that teaming up like Left 4 Dead, fight the zombies together, it's saying here Redfall is loading into Far Cry. It's more leaning towards Far Cry. When you think of Far Cry, your mind is flooded with images of exotic landscapes, faraway paradise. Redfall is embracing more familiar territory, what Smith lovingly describes as a crappy tourist town in New England, creepy cornfields, abandoned fairgrounds. This is the world where Redfall really diverges from any lingering horde shooter comparisons, so things like Left 4 Dead. Those games have a familiar rhythm, load into linear missions with friends, fight waves of enemies until the end. Redfall has a broader objective, affording you the freedom to linger or fight at your leisure. So the world is much more explorative. You can either you can have a home base, you can talk to NPCs, you can do side quests, all these sort of things. So it's much broader than just a Left 4 Dead is what they're saying. If there's a negative to be drawn from Far Cry comparison, it's one of scale. Ubisoft's open worlds, so the Far Cry type worlds, are very large. I do get a bit bored travelling from place to place sometimes. But there's a key distinction in Redfall's design which calmed my nerves, this interview's nerves. There are no vehicles. In terms of freedom, that's what you would expect from other open worlds, but Redfall is an on-foot game. I hope there's not too far to walk. The scale and the pace is a little slowed down in that respect. We want you creeping through a cornfield at the night in the fog, hearing vampires' whispers in the dark. Maybe you'll spot a farmhouse in the distance and sneak over to it, only to find it's full of cultists and a few trapped survivors who you can save. That's the kind of vibe that Redfall has. So rather than just being straightforward linear, it allows you to explore, but discover, farmhouses full of vampires and stuff like that. It's an interesting interview. I highly recommend that you check it out if you're interested in more details about Redfall. It was in Games Radar from 3 days ago. So if you want to know a bit more about Redfall from the creators, from the studio themselves, very interesting interview. And certainly the game is looking very interesting from that perspective. Talking of Starfield, it seems the Starfield website has gone live. Not a lot on it at the moment, but here it is. The help page for Starfield support page has gone live. What is its release date? Actually, it is the first half. So I get all those games. Right, that's interesting. Starfield arrives exclusive. I think it's the latter half of the first half. May? Maybe May. E3. Do you think they would launch it before E3? Or launch it at E3? That would be the first half of the year, just. Interesting. Or will they save E3 to announce all the games coming in the second part of the year? Starfield arrives exclusively on Xbox Series X and S and PC and your Game Pass the first half of 2023. So not, Wow. So given that, if we go back to the as I suspected, I think all these games, not those. All these games Oh, I've gone lost the thingy now. Thank you. Are coming in the first 6 months of the year, which means 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There's going to be loads of other games. These are just some highlights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah. So at least on average, I mean, these are like, look, fun games, all of them, you know, wherever your kind of cup of tea is, you're going to get at least 2 a month, plus all the other kind of stuff that comes along to Game Pass as well. So interesting. It's going to be an interesting 6 months. That's just the first 6 months for Xbox Game Pass. It's just some of the games, the big ones, which are in their control, as it were. Exciting times for Xbox Game Pass subscribers. I would say. Let me know what you think. As I say, are any of those games lighting up your world, baby? Or are you just kind of... For me, Lies of P, Atomic Heart, Monster Hunter Rise, Party Animals will frustrate me. Stalker 2 maybe. But Forza Motorsport, I'll give it a go, but Redfall and Starfield. So there's I'm pretty... will they all be on the cloud? Dave, I think the answer is probably yes. Because they are high-profile games, specifically for Xbox Game Pass. The only one I think might not be... I think there's a good chance they're all coming. Yeah. Because they're all from... I think these are all from Xbox third-party partners. Or first-party partners. So I think there's a good chance... Don't hold me to it, but I think there's a fairly good chance they'll all be on the cloud. What you tend to get are games from the big publishers that do a deal later down the line. So like Capcom. Monster Hunter Rise came out a year ago. It's exactly a year ago in January last year. So it's had its 12 months of freedom. And, you know, then Xbox come in and say, here's some money. Can we have it for Games Pass, please? Game Pass. And they go, there you go. So things, you know, the big publishers like Capcom will probably, you know, want a period of time before the game comes to Xbox. But the fact that they're mentioning all these games coming straight to Game Pass, I think they probably will be on cloud. It'll be interesting to see. Watch this space. Definitely watch this space. Now, before we go on, there's some rumours here. Now, this is not a Game Pass game. This is just a general game, but it's so popular. There's been some rumours here about Star Wars from Massive Entertainment, an Ubisoft studio, which will be available for Xbox. We don't, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be on Game Pass or anything like that, but just thought I'd share it with you because you might be interested. Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment Star Wars game is rumored to have a galaxy-spanning open world, customizable character, and more. According to Inside Gaming, the unnamed Star Wars title is set to include a fully open, seamless universe with travel between systems. i.e. a bit like No Man's Sky. And the game offers travel from the surface of planets into space, throughout space, without loading screens, as evidenced in the gameplay by Noob Rider. This is from No Man's Sky. So presumably when you go into hyperspace, hyperdrive, that could be like a loading screen without you realizing it. You know, when you get that kind of stars streaking by you like you do in Star Wars. But I just thought I'd share that with you because I know obviously a lot of Star Wars fans, a lot of Star Wars games, a lot of anticipation for what Massive do with the Star Wars franchise. Yeah, I'm particularly, interested in it. So there you go. Right. Next up, will we ever see the Activision Blizzard deal? Oh, my Lord. Anyway, so the UK regulator here, Competition and Market Regulation Authority in the UK, has delayed its decision till April. Now, it's interesting because, again, it's from Windows Central. As they go here, the story simply won't go away. They'll get the deal done. They'll get it deal done. But, oh, my God. It's going to be a lot of toing and throwing and negotiations. And what's important about the UK and the EU legislation or ruling on this merger is if the UK and the EU come in favour of the approving the deal, Xbox will use that in their case for FTC with a view to dismiss the current lawsuit proposed by the FTC in the US. They'll say it doesn't bear water because look, the UK and the EU have deemed this not to be anti-competitive, so you're going to lose your case, FTC. That will be their approach. So it's interesting. So that's why the UK and the EU ruling on this, which they'll come first, even though the UK one has been moved by 2 months to April the 26th. The UK regulator previously cited concerns over Call of Duty becoming exclusive to Xbox platforms. We know all those arguments. But it says here, if Beth Wilkinson says here, this is the attorney for Microsoft, she says if the UK Competition and Markets Authority Regulatory Board and the EU approve the deal, they expect that the FTC may move to seek a full injunction in federal court. Microsoft, so basically Microsoft will use this deal, the approvals from the UK and the EU, if it happens, to really sort of get it kicked out of the FTC courts. It rolls on, doesn't it? Just rolls on. But interestingly enough, a lot of people thought that maybe Microsoft, in their response to the FTC, was a bit aggressive, a bit childish almost, a bit tantrumy. As a sort of a lawyer, you especially in specific legal documents, you mustn't be emotional. You must be practical, truthful, all this kind of stuff. I remember doing my, legal practice course. Didn't finish it because I had to write a letter to this fictional client, and it was so hard. I found it personally not to not to have any kind of chumminess, emotion, or anything about it. Anyway, Microsoft says it made a mistake when it claimed that the very structure of Federal Trade Commission, the agency trying to block its bid for Activision Blizzard, violates the United States Constitution. Basically, they said, yeah, right, well, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about, yeah? So you can't block it, yeah. Rather than say, this is our case, why we consider this not to be competitive, anti-competitive. We feel it will be good for consumers, present a nice, clear argument. They kind of followed it up with this sort of, yeah, you're violent, you're wrong, yeah, your mum, yeah, sort of thing. And they've kind of realised that perhaps that was perhaps not the best. And here's the legal document here, and I made a note of it, page 33. I think you'll find, Clive, it's page 33. All this redacted stuff about the revenue, how much they offered Sony. I'm like, really, I wish you could just scrape off like a scratch and sniff, find out how much they really offered. Anyway, that's not what we're here. We're down to page 33. I was once, part of, named in a court thing in the US. I think I've told this story before, but anyway, as part of my job. Anyway. Right, so here it is. Right, so this is in there. They go through all their case. They present their case in all beautiful, clear details, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes on to here. It says here, the alleged harm to potential competition is not actionable. The Commission cannot provide clear proof that the combination of Microsoft's gaming business and Activision's business would restrain trade in alleged markets. The Commission fails to allege a time frame for alleged anti-competitive effects. It's saying, you've done a rubbish job, Commission. This is not like, this is not like another party, like another business that you're going against. You're going against the government, and you're saying to the government, your case falls down because it hasn't got enough, you haven't filled out your details correctly. You haven't got enough detail in there. It goes on to say the Commission is not entitled to relief because none of Microsoft's conduct identified in the complaint is actionable. It's saying the action itself is not correct. You're saying the Commission's claims are too speculative. And then it goes on here. This is the bit where they get a bit heavy. And this is the bit that they've sort of withdrawn from, where they say that it violates the US Constitution. They say the FTC's action violates the US Constitution. These proceedings are invalid because adjudication of the Commission's complaint violates Article 3 of the US Constitution, the separate powers. And it goes on about the fifth dimension, but it also says that the structure of these administrative proceedings in which the Commission both initiates, so the Commission initiated the look into this anti-competitive nature of it, and adjudicates the complaint against Microsoft, violates Microsoft's Fifth Amendment due process right. So they're saying, you're the one that says, oh, there's something fishy going on here. And the government is also the same party that will judge, not investigate, will judge whether something's fishy going on. And they're saying that violates Microsoft's Fifth Amendment. Anyway, it was a bit heavy-handed and probably a bit rash, and they've sort of calmed down their rhetoric a little bit, I think. I think but you got your sense they're annoyed by the FTC having the audacity to sue them. Anyway, interesting times. Now, the big news, though, ladies and gentlemen, the really big news, I've been saving this for the end. There was a big Xbox announcement. I don't know if you know about this. Here we go. Oreos, Xbox-themed cookies, unlock Forza, Halo, and Sea of Thieves skins. There are 6 Oreo cookies available in 22 countries that unlock Xbox skins and armor. Yeah, look. Little Xbox logo on there. Microsoft has teamed up with Oreo once again to create Xbox-themed Oreo cookies. There are 6 custom Xbox cookie designs in total, with one featuring the Xbox logo and additional cookies for each controller button. Oh yeah, look, up, A, B, Oreo, X, Y. Based on the classic cookie and cream combination, and none of this fancy derivative. It's your standard Oreo flavour. But you also, the packs come with special codes to unlock Oreo-themed armor packs for vehicle skins, armor packs or vehicle skins. So there's Oreo-themed armor for Halo. You look like a Spartan's been dunked in Oreo-flavoured milkshake. Oh, yeah, look, there he's got the sort of spotty, speckled armor there. You get a vehicle skin in Horizon 5, Forza Horizon 5, and an entire ship that's more black than it's white. I remember getting exclusive skin for Sea of Thieves. You can't get anymore. And it was for Twitter, exclusive to people who streamed on Twitter or something like that, or Mixer, I forget, whatever. And you had a very limited time to claim it. Yeah, my son always loves telling his mates when they play Sea of Thieves, oh yeah, you can't get that skin. You can't get that skin. And my dad got it because he was a streamer or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can't get that skin anymore. Anyway, there you go. Oreo skin, ladies and gentlemen. Right, let's check out the chat. See what's going on. Of course, it disappears. It'll come back up. Right. Chariot Man Gaming. We saw a little sneak peek of your video earlier. High on Life is definitely a game worth playing. I agreed. I went through. Oh, yeah, I was going to say about the game I was playing all weekend. Sniper Elite 5. I really enjoyed Sniper Elite 4, and I completely forgot. You know, I played Sniper Elite 4 on Stadia. I completely forgot, of course, Sniper Elite 5, which didn't come to Stadia, is on Xbox Game Pass. And I'm having a hell of a lot of fun with it. I think I'm at coming up to the last level. I'm not sure. But, yeah, it's a great, really good game. And frustrating. Sometimes when you die because you've made a mistake and you've set off all the alarms and surrounded by complete arm of the Nazis, 20, 30. I was hiding in some grass and I was surrounded by 20 Nazi soldiers, like walking within an inch of me. And I couldn't do anything for 10, 20 minutes. I just had to wait for them to suddenly put their hand up and go, no, it's all, just put their hand up, not like that. Put their hand up and say, it's all clear, we're all good. And then you think, yeah, but how can I get out of here? And then it kept saving at that spot, and there's no way other than going to start all the way at the beginning to go back to sort of, actually, I want to start this sort of mini save level slightly earlier. But anyway, I managed to get through it, okay. And we're getting it there because there are, multiple ways to do. But anyway, there you go. Liam says, hi. Hello, Liam. How are you? Sednar says, Party Animals looks fun. It does look fun. It also looks super frustrating. Look at that. Magic hands. It's Thing. Look. Look at them nails. Yeah, get off. I'm trying to do... Get out of here. Apologies for that. My daughter. It's basically a reskin of Gang Beasts. Brian De Silva says Xbox Game Pass is going to be insane this year. I think so. I think, you know, there was, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, there was some disappointment, I think, in 2022. And part of that is that some games got delayed. As, you know, we've seen across not just Xbox, publishers generally. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think 2023, especially if the Activision Blizzard deal goes through as well, is going to be insane this year. It's going to be pretty impressive. Brian De Silva says Vin Diesel is a huge ARK fan and wanted to be in the game. There you go. Thank you, Brian, for enlightening us. Lots of games that looks interesting. Exactly. Hey, Dave. Lovely to see you, Dave. Yep, that's what we mentioned that earlier, Jay. There is indeed a showcase the 25th of this month. And it looks like they will be showcasing Redfall and some other games, but not Starfield, interestingly enough. Redfall is an open world looter shooter as a vampire hunter, the world being a town like Gotham. That's a good description, yeah, Brian. Nothing like Left 4 Dead. You don't have RPG states or upgrades in the same sense, not shooter. Yeah, I think it's just because it was a gang of people going around killing zombies. And so people go, oh, that's Left 4 Dead. But there we go. Yes, will they be on cloud? I think these are... That list I showed you, I think, was from Xbox. And they're showcasing the big games coming to Game Pass. And they want Game Pass to be on all the platforms. PC, Xbox, cloud. You know, PC, console, cloud. So I think if they're showcasing them, I think there is a high chance that they'll be in xCloud. Anyway, let's hope. Purple Haze in the house. Lovely to see you, Purple Haze. Looking forward to 2023 games. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is a nice... Just of that selection that I went through, there is a nice collection of genres. There's a sort of beautiful, aesthetic, ephemeral, you know, Hollow Knight type thing. There's your Stalker 2. There's your Starfield. There's Minecraft Legends. There's the Party Animals. Real mix of, you know, something for everybody, I think. Yeah. Hopefully it does happen indeed. Indeed. Well, there you go. That's your week in Xbox, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, here's a question. A long haul of wait. Yes. It is going to be, won't to the end of the year, I don't think. Right. Is a Wi-Fi controller needed by Xbox to make it better for cloud gaming and extra revenue? Oh, I see what you mean. So, like Stadia, where it connects direct with the server. I don't think they necessarily will. Stadia did it because they were creating a specific ecosystem console in the sky. Yeah, and it was all about the cloud gaming. Nothing else. All about the cloud gaming. So they used the fact, you know, your controller was to play Stadia and connect straight with the servers via Wi-Fi. Whereas xCloud, and to a certain degree GeForce Now, are not standalone cloud, you know, not trying to create a new sort of standalone cloud like a virtual console in the sky, although Xbox Series X is. But it's complementary. It's just another way to play Xbox games. So it's not the only way. Do you see what I mean? Like Stadia was just about the cloud and nothing else. Even GeForce Now is about playing PC games. That's what they're trying to do. But just giving a way, a really convenient way for people that maybe have an old gaming PC or a potato PC or don't, laptop or something, to play AAA games in super high quality without having access to a top tier gaming PC. But they're interested in PC gaming. That's what that's what GeForce Now is all about. Xbox, the same. They just want people to play their games in their environment, whether it's on a console, a PC, because they're working on the whole, PC library, Xbox PC library, console, or in the cloud. So I'm not sure they would bring out a Wi-Fi, a device, a controller like the Stadia controller that specifically connects with the servers, if that makes sense. Control over IP would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice. I just can't see it. Again, Luna is specifically like the closest thing to Stadia, really, in terms of it's a virtual console and nothing else. They don't do like a complementary service. Stadia entirely and its own ecosystem, virtual console, new business model, new way to sell games. They had to port the games, all of that. That's why a Wi-Fi controller made sense, because it was another little removal of the link in the chain for latency and stuff like that. And to be honest, it might, the way that GeForce Now is going, we might not need, maybe there are other ways to do it that we've seen. But it's a good question, I'd say. Good question. Anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is another Xbox Monday Night Chat. Annoys me when the chat doesn't come up. See, look, the chat's there. Why is it working this screen, but not the other screen? OBS. Oh. Anyway, that is another Xbox Monday Night Chat. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found it useful. If you've not checked out my Xbox games for 2023, I might just flex now, then you certainly should do. I'm sure you have. Because it's doing very well. I can't. If you haven't watched my January 2023 games, look, 4,000 views already. Oh, you can't see that, can you? All the Xbox games for Game Pass in January 2023. 4,000 views. Thank you. So yeah, check that out. I will be doing one that summarizes all the games that we talked about today. So make sure you check that out when I get time to do that one. But anyway, just thought I'd share that. So if you want to check out what the games for January 2023 look like, check out that video. But otherwise, have a wonderful, wonderful gaming week. As ever, join me on Thursday because I had a meeting with some other content creators with GeForce Now earlier today, where they updated us on the rollout of the 4080 and stuff like that, and some FAQs and things like that, which is quite interesting. And I shall be talking a little bit about that on Thursday on the GFN show as well. But anyway, it's funny, Xbox Reviews used the brute force method. Now it's GFN's strategy. Indeed. Yeah, throw some power at it. Anyway, as I said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching the show afterwards. I know a lot of people watch my shows, don't have time to watch it live. But a hell of a lot of people follow up and watch it throughout the week, which is great. And I'm really grateful for that. So I'm grateful for all the people here live. Grateful for people who follow up later. Hit the likes if you haven't done that already. Have a wonderful week. See you on Thursday if you're around. And I'm going to roll the end credits. Thank you.